Imagine waking up every morning to find that the world outside your window mirrors exactly what you believe inside. The people you meet, the opportunities you see, the challenges you face, they all respond to the thoughts you carry in your mind. Your mind is like a magnet, attracting experiences that match your dominant beliefs. Most people live their lives on autopilot, unaware that their thoughts are shaping every circumstance they encounter. They blame fate, luck, or other people for what happens to them. But the truth is far simpler and far more empowering. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. If you constantly focus on scarcity, worry, or failure, you will notice lack, obstacles, and disappointment everywhere. But if your thoughts are filled with abundance, solutions, and possibilities, the world begins to reflect those very ideas back to you. Every problem can be reframed as an opportunity, every setback as a lesson, every challenge is a chance to grow. The first step is awareness. Become conscious of the thoughts you allow to dominate your mind. Are they building your life, or are they tearing it down? Awareness is like turning on a light in a dark room. You suddenly see everything clearly. Once you are aware, you can take control. Next, you must take responsibility. The world will not change until you change your thinking. It's not about wishing for a better life or waiting for circumstances to improve. It's about cultivating a mindset that naturally attracts success, joy, and fulfillment. Your thoughts set the tone and your actions follow. Consistency is key. Thoughts alone are not enough. They must be nurtured, repeated, and reinforced daily. Through deliberate practice, the mind begins to focus on what you want rather than what you fear. This is how ordinary people achieve extraordinary results. Finally, remember that you are the architect of your life. Each thought you entertain is a blueprint for the reality you will experience. Choose thoughts that uplift, empower, and inspire. Choose beliefs that open doors instead of closing them. The world does not simply happen to you. It responds to the energy and focus of your mind. When you master your thinking, you will see that life is not a series of random events. It is a reflection of your inner state, a mirror showing you exactly what you need to become. The world outside cannot shine brighter than the light within you. Imagine waking up every morning to a world that seems perfectly in tune with your thoughts, a world that mirrors what you believe deep inside. Every person you encounter, every opportunity that comes your way, every challenge you face seems to respond directly to the mindset you carry. This is not coincidence, luck, or fate. It is the natural law that the world reflects what you think. Your mind is like a magnet, drawing experiences, people, and situations that match the energy of your thoughts. Yet most people drift through life unaware that the simplest and most powerful tool for shaping their reality is their own thinking. They complain about circumstances, criticize others, and blame the world for their problems, not realizing that every moment of dissatisfaction begins in their own mind. When you begin to understand that your outer world is a reflection of your inner world, everything changes. You start to notice that negativity attracts negativity, fear attracts obstacles, and doubt attracts failure. Conversely, when your mind is filled with abundance, positivity, and solutions, you begin to see opportunities, support, and success everywhere. The process begins with awareness, the conscious act of observing your own thoughts. Becoming aware is like switching on a light in a dark room. You suddenly see what has always been there but remained hidden. Awareness allows you to notice patterns, to catch the thoughts that do not serve you, and to replace them with ones that do. The next step is taking responsibility, realizing that no one else controls your life and that your circumstances are a reflection of your mental habits. Change does not come from wishing or hoping. It comes from deliberately choosing the thoughts that will shape the life you want. By taking ownership of your thinking, you empower yourself to change your reality because action always follows thought. Consistency is the bridge between thought and reality. Thinking positively once or twice is not enough. You must nurture empowering thoughts daily, repeating them until they become dominant, until they shape your behavior and influence your actions. Over time, your mind naturally begins to focus on what you want rather than what you fear, guiding you toward solutions and away from distractions. Each thought you entertain acts as a blueprint for the experiences you will attract. If you believe in abundance, your life begins to show abundance. If you believe in limitations, your life becomes limited. The mind responds to repetition and focus, and it is the thoughts you dwell on that will manifest in your reality. Understanding this principle is profoundly liberating because it puts the power to change everything squarely in your hands. You no longer need to wait for external circumstances to improve. You only need to change your thinking. Challenges become opportunities, failures become lessons, and setbacks become stepping stones. The outer world will always reflect the energy you carry within, so it is essential to cultivate thoughts that uplift, inspire, and empower. You cannot control everything that happens to you, but you can control the lens through which you perceive it. By choosing thoughts of possibility, growth, and positivity, You set into motion a series of events that will lead to greater fulfillment and success. This understanding transforms how you approach every situation, every interaction, and every decision. It encourages mindfulness, self-discipline, and a deep awareness that your mind is the starting point for every achievement and every experience you desire. Your thoughts are far more powerful than most people realize. They are the invisible architects of your life, quietly building your reality moment by moment. Every circumstance you face, every success you achieve, and every challenge that comes your way begins as a thought. The mind is the soil from which every experience grows, and the quality of your life is determined by the quality of the thoughts you plant and nurture. Most people underestimate this power, wandering through life as if external events alone dictate the outcome of their days. They wait for luck, for timing, or for other people to create opportunities, not realizing that the mind is the most reliable source of change. When you recognize that your thoughts shape your world, you begin to see that every problem contains a hidden solution, and every obstacle carries the seed of growth. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stagnant lies in how they manage their thoughts. Positive, focused, and disciplined thinking generates opportunities where none seem to exist. It turns challenges into lessons and setbacks into motivation. Negative, scattered, or fearful thinking, on the other hand, creates more problems than it solves and attracts experiences that reinforce doubt and limitation. Awareness of this process is critical. Begin by observing the nature of your own thoughts. Are they constructive, forward-looking, and solution-oriented, or are they reactive, self-critical, and pessimistic? Awareness alone is transformative because it allows you to intervene before destructive patterns take root. Once you understand the power of your mind, responsibility becomes the next step. You are not a passive participant in life. You are an active creator. Every thought, every focus, every belief contributes to the environment you experience. External circumstances may appear to be random or unfair, but they are reflections of accumulated mental habits. Taking responsibility for your thoughts is liberating because it means that change is within your control. No one else needs to alter their behavior or your circumstances for you to improve your life. The key is consistent mental discipline. Thoughts must be nurtured, repeated, and reinforced until they become dominant, until they guide your actions naturally. It is not enough to think positively once or twice. The mind must be trained daily to focus on possibility rather than limitation, on solutions rather than problems, on growth rather than stagnation. This consistency creates momentum. The more you feed constructive thoughts into your mind, the more your behavior aligns with your desired outcomes, and the more the world around you responds accordingly. The habits of thought you cultivate today will manifest as reality tomorrow. Beliefs, after all, are self-fulfilling prophecies. When you believe in abundance, opportunity, and success, your life reflects these ideas. When you believe in scarcity, difficulty, and failure, you experience just that. Therefore, careful attention to the content of your mind is essential. You must choose thoughts that empower you, that inspire courage, that encourage creativity, and that cultivate resilience. Your inner world sets the stage for your outer experiences. Challenges are inevitable, but your mental approach determines whether they are obstacles or stepping stones. By consciously directing your mind toward constructive, productive, and solution-focused thoughts, you create a trajectory that naturally leads to achievement. Over time, this mental discipline transforms your perception, enabling you to recognize opportunities in situations that once seemed hopeless. It allows you to respond to setbacks with patience, to navigate difficulties with wisdom, and to approach every day with clarity, energy, and focus. The more you practice intentional thinking, the more automatic it becomes, and the more the world begins to mirror the reality you choose. To create, every individual has the ability to shape their destiny, yet very few truly understand the power that lies within their own mind. Life is not a random series of events. It is a reflection of your dominant thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes. The world does not simply happen to you. It responds to the energy and focus you project. If you continually focus on lack, fear, and limitation, your reality will mirror these thoughts. If, however, you cultivate beliefs rooted in abundance, opportunity, and possibility, you will attract experiences, people, and circumstances that align with these ideals. The first step in harnessing this power is self-awareness, the conscious act of examining your own mind. Take the time to notice what you think about most often. Are your thoughts constructive, forward-looking, and solution-oriented, or are they repetitive, negative, and self-limiting? Awareness alone is transformational because it creates the opportunity to redirect your mental energy toward thoughts that serve your growth and your goals. Once you recognize the nature of your thinking, responsibility follows naturally. No one else controls your reality. External circumstances, other people's behavior, and unforeseen events may influence your life, but they do not determine it. The only true determinant of your experience is the quality of your thoughts. By taking full responsibility for your mind, you empower yourself to change your life. The next step is the deliberate cultivation of positive and purposeful thought. Thoughts are like seeds. Some may take root and grow into trees of opportunity and success, while others may produce weeds that choke your progress and hinder your growth. You must feed your mind with ideas that are empowering, inspiring, and constructive. Through consistent practice, these thoughts become habitual, shaping your daily actions and gradually transforming your external reality. Discipline is essential in this process because the mind tends to drift toward the familiar. Without intentional focus, negative patterns can resurface, limiting your potential and keeping you trapped in repetitive cycles of fear and frustration. By committing to consistent, focused thinking, you begin to retrain your mental habits, replacing unproductive thoughts with ones that lead to achievement, clarity, and resilience. Visualization is another powerful tool in aligning your mind with your desired outcomes. By imagining success, abundance, and solutions vividly and repeatedly, you send a clear signal to your subconscious mind about what you intend to attract. The subconscious mind cannot distinguish between what is imagined and what is real. So the more you practice focused visualization, the more your actions, decisions, and perceptions begin to align with your envisioned reality. Moreover, the environment you surround yourself with plays a subtle yet influential role in shaping your thinking. Associating with people who inspire, challenge, and encourage growth reinforces your own positive mental patterns, while exposure to negativity, doubt, and criticism can weaken your focus and resolve. The process of consciously directing your mind requires patience, practice, and persistence, but it is the most direct and reliable path to creating a life of success, satisfaction, and meaning. Every challenge you encounter can be reframed as an opportunity to strengthen your mental discipline, refine your thoughts, and expand your awareness. The consistent application of these principles transforms ordinary habits of thinking into a powerful mechanism for attracting solutions, creating opportunities, and achieving your goals. The mind becomes a magnet, drawing toward you experiences, people, and circumstances that resonate with the energy of your dominant thoughts, and the world responds in kind. Reflecting back the nature of your inner reality, your mind is the single most powerful tool you possess, yet most people underestimate its influence on every aspect of their life. Every thought you hold, every belief you embrace, and every assumption you make contributes to the reality you experience. Life is not a series of random events, nor is it governed by luck or chance alone. Instead, it is a mirror, reflecting the patterns and quality of your thinking. If you spend your days dwelling on scarcity, setbacks, or failure, you will inevitably attract circumstances that mirror these concerns. Conversely, if you cultivate thoughts of possibility, growth, and abundance, the world responds in kind, opening doors that previously seemed closed. The first step toward mastering this principle is conscious awareness. Begin to observe the thoughts that dominate your mind on a daily basis. Notice which thoughts energize you and which drain you. Recognizing your own patterns of thinking is like discovering the blueprint of your life, allowing you to identify where adjustments are necessary. Once you become aware, you can take responsibility. Your experiences are not purely the result of external forces, they are the outcome of your mental habits. This realization is both empowering and demanding, because it places the control firmly in your hands. You are the architect of your own reality, and your thoughts are the building blocks of every circumstance, relationship, and opportunity you encounter. Discipline in thought is essential. The mind naturally drifts toward old patterns, often repeating fears, doubts, and limitations unconsciously. Without deliberate practice, these patterns dominate, shaping your life in ways that may not align with your goals or values. By consistently redirecting your attention to constructive and empowering ideas, you gradually replace negative mental habits with ones that propel you forward. Visualization is a critical technique in this process. By imagining your goals vividly and consistently, you provide your subconscious mind with a clear and compelling target. The subconscious cannot distinguish between imagined success and actual experience, so repetition and clarity in your mental images guide your actions and decisions toward the outcomes you desire. Surrounding yourself with a supportive environment reinforces positive thinking. The people you associate with, the media you consume, and the ideas you entertain all influence your mental patterns. Seek out sources of inspiration, challenge, and encouragement, and distance yourself from influences that foster doubt, fear, or limitation. Another important aspect is the reframing of challenges. Life is not without obstacles, but your mental approach determines whether these obstacles become barriers or stepping stones. By maintaining a mindset focused on solutions, growth, and learning, difficulties transform into opportunities for personal and professional development. Consistency in practice is what separates those who achieve extraordinary results from those who remain average. Positive thinking, visualization, and conscious awareness must be nurtured daily. Over time, this consistent mental effort builds resilience, clarity, and confidence, making the process almost automatic. Your thoughts begin to generate actions that align with your intentions, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of growth and opportunity. Understanding that the world reflects your thinking provides a profound perspective on responsibility, potential, and power. Each thought you cultivate, each belief you reinforce, and each mental habit you embrace contributes to the creation of your reality. By consciously directing your mind toward clarity, positivity, and purpose, you set in motion a chain of events that naturally draws the experiences, relationships, and opportunities that reflect the quality and focus of your inner life every day. The mind acts as a filter, determining what we see, how we interpret events, and the kind of reality we experience. It is the most powerful tool at your disposal, yet few people truly understand how their habitual thinking shapes every aspect of their lives. Your thoughts are not just fleeting ideas. They are the seeds of your future. The world responds to the nature of these seeds, providing experiences, opportunities, and challenges that match the energy you project. If your mind is preoccupied with fear, limitation, or negativity, your environment will reflect those very conditions. If your mind is focused on opportunity, growth, and positivity, the world will mirror that perspective, presenting possibilities and solutions where once there appeared to be none. The journey toward mastery begins with awareness, the conscious act of observing your own thoughts. Take note of the recurring patterns in your thinking. Are your thoughts constructive, empowering, and solution-oriented, or are they repetitive, self-limiting, and fearful? Awareness allows you to identify mental habits that are either helping or hindering your progress. With awareness comes responsibility. It is not the world or other people who control the quality of your life. It is your own mind. Understanding this principle is profoundly liberating because it places the power of change directly in your hands. Every thought you entertain, every belief you hold, and every assumption you make contributes to the outcomes you experience. Discipline of thought is essential in harnessing this power. The mind naturally gravitates toward familiar patterns, often replaying old fears, doubts, and insecurities. Without intentional practice, these patterns dominate, shaping your life in ways that may not align with your true potential. By consciously directing your thinking toward constructive and empowering ideas, you gradually reshape your mental habits, creating a foundation for success and fulfillment. Visualization is a particularly effective technique in aligning your mind with your goals. When you vividly imagine your desired outcomes, your subconscious begins to treat them as real, influencing your decisions, behaviors, and reactions. The clearer and more consistent your mental images, the more likely they are to manifest in your external world. The environment around you also plays a critical role in shaping your thoughts. Surround yourself with individuals who inspire, challenge, and support you. Avoid influences that perpetuate doubt, fear, or negativity. The company you keep, the content you consume, and the ideas you entertain all reinforce your mental patterns and either strengthen or weaken your focus on growth and opportunity. Reframing challenges is another vital aspect of this process. Life inevitably presents obstacles, but your perception of them determines their impact. A mindset focused on problem solving and learning transforms setbacks into opportunities for growth, making each difficulty a stepping stone toward your goals. Consistency is the key that binds all these principles together. One-time effort or occasional focus is not enough. Daily, deliberate practice of positive thinking, conscious awareness, and visualization builds mental strength, resilience, and clarity. Over time, these habits become automatic, shaping your actions, decisions, and interactions in alignment with the reality you desire. By consistently directing your mind toward constructive, empowering, and solution-oriented thoughts, you create a self-reinforcing cycle of growth, opportunity, and success. The world begins to mirror your inner state, reflecting the quality and focus of your dominant thoughts. Each moment offers a chance to cultivate a mind that attracts the life you envision. A life shaped not by chance, circumstance, or luck, but by the deliberate and focused energy of your thoughts. The mind is a remarkable instrument, capable of shaping every aspect of your life if you learn to direct it consciously. It is both the seedbed and the mirror of your reality, producing results that reflect the nature of your predominant thoughts. Too often, people live as though their circumstances are random or dictated by forces beyond their control, failing to recognize that their outer world is a direct reflection of their inner mental state. When your thoughts are filled with doubt, worry, and limitation, life mirrors those conditions back to you, creating obstacles, setbacks, and frustrations. Conversely, when your thoughts are directed toward growth, possibility, and opportunity, the world responds in kind, presenting experiences, relationships, and outcomes that align with your vision. Awareness of this principle is the first step toward mastery. Observe the patterns of your thinking, the habitual mental responses that dominate your mind each day. Are they constructive and empowering, or are they repetitive and self-limiting? Awareness illuminates the areas where change is needed, giving you the chance to redirect your mental energy toward ideas that support your goals and aspirations. Once you understand the power of your mind, taking responsibility becomes essential. No one else controls the quality of your life, your thoughts do. Accepting this truth is both liberating and demanding because it places the responsibility for your outcomes squarely in your hands. Discipline of thought is necessary to harness this power. The mind tends to default to familiar patterns, often replaying fears, doubts, and negative assumptions unconsciously. Without conscious effort, these mental habits dominate, shaping your life in ways that may not serve your highest potential. By deliberately focusing on constructive, solution-oriented, and empowering thoughts, you gradually reshape your mental landscape, creating conditions that attract success, growth, and fulfillment. Visualization is an important technique in this process. By vividly imagining your desired outcomes, your subconscious mind is trained to recognize and align with those possibilities. The clearer and more consistent your mental images, the more likely they are to influence your decisions, behaviors, and actions, bringing your goals into reality. Your environment also reinforces the quality of your thoughts. Surround yourself with individuals who inspire, challenge, and support your growth, and limit exposure to negativity, doubt, or criticism. The ideas, conversations, and influences you engage with daily all contribute to the strength and focus of your mind, either reinforcing constructive thinking or undermining it. Challenges and setbacks are inevitable, but your perception of them determines their impact. A mindset focused on learning, growth, and problem-solving transforms obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into lessons. Consistency is crucial. Daily practice of awareness, disciplined thinking, visualization, and positive focus strengthens your mind and reinforces productive mental habits. Over time, these practices become automatic, shaping your responses, actions, and decisions in alignment with the life you want to create. Every thought you nurture contributes to a reality that reflects its energy. Your dominant beliefs set the tone for the experiences you attract, and the world around you mirrors the state of your mind. By intentionally cultivating thoughts that are empowering, purposeful, and solution-oriented, you create a life shaped not by chance or circumstance, but by the deliberate and focused direction of your own thinking. The process is continuous, requiring patience, persistence, and conscious engagement, and as your mental discipline grows, the alignment between your inner vision and your outer reality becomes increasingly apparent, creating a life that reflects the highest and most focused expression of your mind.